where x is greater than 0, x is different from 1, and y is greater than 0, and y is different from 1. Then you'll be told to find y in terms of x, giving you answer in a form not involving logarithms. So for you to get y in terms of x, meaning you make y the subject of the formula, isn't it? So from the laws of logarithm, the first thing you must ensure is that you have the same base when you want to use any laws of logarithm, isn't it? You must have the same base. So here is base x. This term does not have a log. This is to base x, meaning this term must have a log to base x, isn't it? So what do? You introduce the log. So that is where we have log to base x of 5y plus 1 is equals to, here we have 4. Then we introduce log x to base x. Because a log of a number to the same base is 1. Because you can remember, when you add log b to base a, this is the same as log b over log a, meaning the base is the logarithm in the denominator, isn't it? So it means when b is x and a is x, it is like you have log x over log x, which is, so a log of a number to the same base is 1, isn't it? It's 1. So you've introduced log x to the same base x plus log 3 to base x. So now you have the same base all through in all terms, isn't it? Base x, base x, base x. So on the left hand side of the equation is already one term. So on the left hand side of the equation we already have log 5y plus 1 to base x to be equals to, then you combine the other side, isn't it? Before you combine them, what do? You get rid of the coefficient, isn't it? So this coefficient 4 becomes the power, isn't it? Coefficient 4 becomes the power. So we are going to have log x to base x raised to power 4, then plus log 3 to base x. Now there is no coefficient, there is no coefficient, there is no coefficient, isn't it? We can now join this. So when you remove log to base x outside, addition changes back to multiplication, isn't it? So we now have our x raised to power 4 times 3, which will give you 3x raised to power, isn't it? Then on this side of the equation, of course, it is already one term. It is log to base x of 5y plus 1. So if you reach this level, it means you can now ignore log to base x on both sides of the equation, isn't it? Are we together there? So if you ignore log to base x on either side of the equation, what do you remain with? You remain with 5y plus 1 is equals to 3x raised to power 4. Then you was told to write y in terms of x, meaning you make y the subject of the formula, isn't it? So positive 1, if you take those sides, so if the brackets are not there, if you take positive 1, the other side you remain with 5y is equals to 3x raised to power 4 minus 1, isn't it? Then after that, so you divide both sides of the equation by 5 to get y, because you were told to express y in terms of x, isn't it? So you end up with 3 over 5x raised to power 4 minus 1 over 5. 5 is the common denominator, isn't it? And you have solved that problem. You have actually found y in terms of x, and your problem is not in a format involving logarithms, isn't it? Good. So that is how to handle such a case.